I grew up in the French part of Switzerland. My family was Italian. So I grew up already bilingual and already within two cultures, which at that time, I'm 49, at that time it was a very big shock of culture in Switzerland. The Italian, the Swiss mentality were very, very different, quite extreme different. One very extrovert people and the other much more introvert. And so I grew up with this two culture.
Which is in the centre of England, pretty much. Like I say, my background was in philosophy. I taught philosophy quite a while, but now I'm a counsellor, psychotherapist.
I'm from Silicon Valley, so I'm one of those people that back in the 90s was at the start of the internet and created the things and systems that are used by everybody. And I work for Sun Microsystems, and the reason I left Sun and the reason I left Silicon Valley was because I felt that companies were being valued, people were being valued on that they were either a liability or an expense. So that's all it is on the balance sheet. They don't show up as an asset. They don't show up as a contributor. And I said, as long as we've got a society that values and rewards at Wall Street and companies are rewarded on being valued or considered only liabilities and expenses, we're not going to make any progress as humans.
I'm 33. I live in Denmark, in Copenhagen. I have a daytime job doing electrical engineering. I do some other job in my free time, some marketing related stuff. I live by myself. Very interested in sustainability. I try to live a sustainable life.
Well, my name is Pernille, first of all, and I am 47. Can't believe that number. Talking about numbers, I can't believe that number. And I've been living in Greece for 27 years. Yeah. I came to Greece after high school with the exchange student program AFS, American Field Service. Stayed for 10 months with a host family, and in that town I met my future husband. And then it was fate, yeah. Then I went back for a year, tried to study, and spent all my money flying forth and back. So afterwards, yes, so I came here and stayed here. And so what to do when you're here and everybody speaks Greek, you have to learn Greek, of course. And then I went to university to study English and American literature, which I loved. It was the best. And of course, that gave me my own social circle and job opportunities and whatnot. And regarding work, if you want to work, I've done everything you can imagine. Not everything you can imagine, but it's just I keep every 3-4 years I change work. I did some subtitling work for a company in Los Angeles, normal translations as well, teaching English in various schools.
I don't think very many people are optimistic right now in the world. I'm trying to be optimistic, and there are of course good things going on, and it's nice to have positive messages, and I think that's quite an American way of looking at things. I was just recently in Washington, and I saw that in front of the private houses that everyone had his sign that I don't mind if my neighbor has this color of skin, etc. So these kind of messages instead of hate, which is really a problem. Politicians are playing with emotions. That's becoming a huge problem.
I am, what do you call that, when you are fathering children in Africa? Signing petitions like crazy since then. It's on my to-do list. I know, for instance, my husband isn't clicking very much, so he's very happy that I am doing it on both of us. And I've been forwarding, whenever I can, some of the emails that I felt my friends could, relate to.
I think with Avaaz, what is incredible is this feeling unify people around the world. And at the beginning, I think it has been maybe somebody who shared a petition with me, and I found that very interesting. So I became member, and of course now I always receive the petition, and I think that I always sign. I always feel very concerned with what you are doing.
That I first heard of Avaaz, actually, it was a long time ago. Not interested in politics, but feel like I could actually do anything that made any difference. So yes, I was quite disillusioned with politics, but I still am in many ways. The way politics works, party politics, kind of media, control of information, and to be able to do something like Avaaz. First of all, when it was at first I didn't know whether it really would be any use to be clicking on signing petitions or anything like that, and it got the label slacktivism, and I thought, this is, what am I just being lazy? And I thought, well, I don't do anything in any other way because I just don't feel like it. I went, for example, on the anti-Iraq war march in London. I got back home, and the amount of people that were there was underreported, and the amount of police presence was underreported. And I thought, there's just no, this doesn't reflect anything that's really happened. I mean, it's important that we were there, I guess, but and especially now, since now we look back at it. But at the time, I thought this isn't going to stop what's happening. And they just, So Avaaz, I think, provided a different kind of. But I found it empowering, like it would actually. After I discovered after a while that it did seem to do stuff, that things did get changed, that it did have an effect. So I really liked that. I think after that, after a while, well, my circumstances changed, so I started now to kind of donate to some of the things as well, which also felt like it had an effect. So really, I think that's probably the biggest thing with Avaaz is for me is that it's made me feel like I've actually helped bring some changes about.
Let's see, I've probably been going back 6 or 7 years now of being with Avaaz. One of the things that we look at technologies is being able to connect to people, but also to give a voice. The voice is pretty much the 41 families that own the world's banks. So therefore, they pretty much have the say. Not even politicians really have a say, but people collectively do. And so it's important for us, if we point out the issues, they can't ignore that. So it is people power in its purest form. And so I said, well, that's what I need to be part of.
Like what the contestants say at the beauty pageant, world peace. No hunger in the world. a blue sky for everyone who wants it. So yeah, fair treatment of people around the world. People not being afraid of being homosexual because they would get sentenced to death, which is outrageous, or even just beaten up, which is outrageous. Just the freedom of people to do whatever they want to do and be whoever they want to be, as long as they don't harm anyone. Meaning, really. And then I would, of course, love for the planet to just flourish and to get rid of all these damaging things, get some clean energy running, and just the people start thinking less of money and more of what could be good for.
I think I'd like to see kind of standards of fairness and rationality, kind of things that are neutral to politics or to parties, things like that, but more to do with, the ground rules for proper debate and discussion, access to information, kind of ground rules about how to speak about things, really.
I thought this idea of maybe if everybody in his country that is practicing meditation would meditate, let's say, from 11 in the evening until midnight, to give just a time, then on each time zone of the world, they would be always secure that a certain number of people meditate this love, and it would make the round around the globe. To see if that could bring some power, to see if some of what's happening in Chechnya is so horrible, that you think, how can you reduce this anger? Is it possible that all this dissolve somehow? How is it possible somebody can be so angry against somebody else? Yeah.
I'm a historian. I see that there are more and more upcoming problems, and we have to manage these problems quietly and rationally and not letting irrational voices emerge. Otherwise, we will face problems. You have to reach new audiences and make them aware of as well. That's the mission, no?
bad working condition in Bangladesh, or if it is that there have been somebody like you that really took the time to make the difference. And really, without internet, I think this would be just not possible. I feel that you are all blessed, really, for your work, and to send a lot of love.
I just wish you good luck, and just keep up your mind and be optimistic. Just feel good, and then and trust yourself, and just spread this spirit.
You're doing a great job. Keep it up. And if you ever need help, I'm here. And perhaps it could also just be for some voluntary work or whatever. Have me in mind. It's been a pleasure to actually finally getting a face. Of course, I've seen some news with Rick when he's been speaking to see, okay, it is a real thing. Perhaps that's the only thing that people need to know even more, how real you are.